how can we help each other do that? Because I think in your country, it's really hard to do on your own. 20 years ago, we didn't have a lot of people your age reading it for some reason. And my feeling was at the time, things were going pretty well for women, and women thought, I don't need this book. Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office was not my choice of a title.
Oh.
My title for the book was
Today at HerTorque, we believe in amplifying voices and changing the norms, society norms created for women, and so that women can claim their space with confidence at HerTorque. And it's an absolute honor for us to have you on board with us. And what can I say? Like, you have so much wealth of knowledge. You're president of corporate coaching information, a globally respected leadership coach, psychologist, and like best-selling author of New York Times and Wall Street Journal. And you're here for your book and like imparting more knowledge with Nice Girls Don't Speak Up, Nice Girls Don't Get Rich, and now your latest book coming up, Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office, with an updated version in March. So, I mean, your work has like navigated women with leadership, confidence, and success in their workplace. And good evening and welcome to Her Talk, ma'am. It's so nice to
Oh,
have
good
you.
evening. And thank you for that nice introduction. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be with you.
It's such a pleasure to have you on board with us and finally to meet you. And your knowledge and your work has influenced conversations around women and leadership across like generations. So having you here feels truly special. And
Thank you.
certainly, with your latest book coming up, Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office, with an updated version like Unconscious Mistakes Women Do to Sabotage Their Careers. So, why that updated version and why that unconsciously sabotaging? What made you realize that it needed an updated version for the book?
You know, when the publisher first came to me and asked if I would do an updated version, I said no, because I thought, I don't know that I have anything more to say. I think I've said most of what I want to say. And then in this country, we had something that was called an election that elected a president who started to take away women's rights and take away the rights of people of color and really focus primarily on white males. And I thought, that can't happen. Somebody needs to say something to encourage women to stay in the mix. And we need them more than ever to step up to the leadership plate. And I think we're seeing that around the world, actually. I think it started in some ways here in the US. And then I think other countries followed suit that said, they'd like to see more of a masculine form of leadership come back. And so that's really what made me do it, was that I felt as if there is this new generation that's coming into the workforce that we need them to step up and be leaders. We need more women leaders. As a matter of fact, if we ever needed women in leadership in all of history, now is that time.
Truly, truly, I completely agree with you. And why is it that always women need to rely on men? When it comes to leadership at home, we are the ones taking the decisions, starting from every small things to the big. So why not in the office? Why can't they even take their or take the guarantee that women can do something right? Why is it the question when it comes to women?
Well, that's interesting because I wrote a book that's called See Jane Lead, and it wasn't as popular as Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. And I think I'm going to redo it because I really want it to be popular now, because I think it's more important now than ever. I might have written it maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And in that book, I talk about exactly what you're saying, that women lead all the time. We lead all the time. We lead at home, we lead in schools, we lead in so many ways. We just don't call ourselves leaders.
Yeah.
And we don't call ourselves leaders. And when you ask the question, why not? It's because when we do, we get called names. We're disparaged in some ways. We're made to believe that we're doing something wrong. There was a book many, many years ago that was written, and the author of the book likened women living in society like living in pollution, right? you don't realize even that that you're breathing this air that is keeping you down until you get to a place like where you are and you
Yes.
associate with other women and
Yes.
you start looking around and you're going, wait, there's more to leadership than all of these men.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
so I agree with you 100%. I think the reason why many times we hold back is for that fear of being either called names or told we're doing something wrong. And when a woman's told she's doing something wrong, she tends to believe it. We
Yeah.
need to stop believing it.
We need to boost more confidence in women and ourselves so that we can at least think about it when somebody's telling us that you're doing this wrong, or at least, okay, if you want to do this, do it in this right way. Like, why can't our way be the right way? Why is it that your way is the right way and mine is the wrong way?
Well, that's what's so interesting is that, women make natural leaders. I
Yeah.
mean, not only do we do it, we
Hmm.
make natural leaders for our
Yes.
time.
Hmm.
When you really study about leadership, what you realize is that a leader has to be a leader for their time.
Hmm.
You couldn't take, for example, I don't think you could swap Mahatma Gandhi with somebody today, right? It wouldn't work because they're different needs.
Yes.
And so I think right now we're living at a time when in corporations especially, and I'm just going to refer to that since that's my point of reference, in corporations especially, we have people working who want leaders, excuse me, who do what women do, which is care about other people,
Hmm.
are inclusive,
Yes.
make decisions based on collaboration and cooperation. It is not top down leadership. Women have never used top down leadership.
Hmm.
Women have often used bottom up leadership.
Yes.
So that's why so many men call it, it's soft skills,
Hmm.
right? The soft skills of women's leadership. Well, you know what I always say to them? I say, if it's so soft, what makes it so hard for you?
Yeah.
Right. So I think women need to just understand that what you bring to the table naturally is exactly what is needed today in corporations and in governments as well. Because if
Hmm.
you look around the world, I mean, this world is in a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about women equality, they are like, you do physical labor just like us. But we are not talking about physical labor or something like that. We are just saying that we need the same amount of opportunities which are being provided to you, and they are not being provided to me because I'm a woman. So I don't need that reason to be valid.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we all also need to then, going along with what you're saying, is to not wait for permission.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't need your permission to apply for a more senior role. I
Hmm.
don't need your permission to be able to give my opinion in meetings, to take charge. I don't need anybody's permission to do that.
Yes.
And that really was the essence of Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office when it first came out, was that what I was saying was that women, when they act like the nice little girls they were taught to be in childhood, they can't achieve their goals because in childhood we're often taught, and I think that's changing in some cultures, but
Hmm.
not in every culture.
Yeah.
I think in some cultures people are saying, no, you can really be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. But the fact is that you need to step into your womanhood. You can't act like that nice little girl either you were taught to be in childhood or that people expect of you, because they really would like to they'd like to infantilize us, right?
Yeah.
Make us seem like children,
Yes,
when in
yes.
fact we're not.
No, we are not children. We are women and we are bound to make decisions on our own. We do not need permissions from some other gender and not even our own sisters. Because majorly, I've seen that women do believe more on men and not on their own sisters or any other women. And they feel very strange to talk about their personal life to women as compared to men. So that is also one reason HerTorque, our organization, focuses on, and primarily that's the main vision we carried on, like sisterhood. So women for women.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's gotten a bad rap. You
Yes.
know, I think, oh, I just lost you.
It's okay. It's okay. And yeah. Sorry.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I think it's gotten a bad rap. I think, that when women want to support other women, they get comments like, "Oh, you just hired her because she's a
Yeah.
woman. You just
Mm.
promoted her because she's a woman." And
Yes.
I think we need to get in the habit of saying, "Yeah, so what?
Yes.
Did you never hire a man because he was a man? Did you
Mm.
never promote a man
Yes,
because he was
absolutely.
a man?" You know,
Mm.
and so I would think we need to get in the habit of saying, "And so what? Your point is,
Yeah.
right?" Because otherwise it pushes us back,
Yes.
right?
It should be like, oh yes, my sister got promoted. Oh yeah, that's my girl. Oh yeah, that's my best friend or something like that.
Exactly. That's something I talk about in the new book. Or it's not the new book. Well, it's the old book that's new now, the
Yeah.
update of the book. I
Updated
talk
version.
about the importance of women um, amplifying other women, right?
Yeah.
That if I'm in a meeting with you and you say something and nobody says anything, I should be the one that says, "Oh, I would like to really agree with that. I'd like to
Mm.
support that
Yeah.
because I think she's really onto something." And I think that we need to do more of that with each other. That way,
Yes.
men can't steal our ideas.
Yes. We'll be
If
there
you
to
put some,
support.
yeah, exactly. So I don't think we should be apologetic about wanting to support each other. I
Mm.
think men and some women make us feel that it's wrong
Yes, completely. And
when it's completely not.
yeah, it's completely not. So, Dr. Frankel, if you had to change the title of the book for us Gen Z, then what would it be? Like, what would you think of it?
Oh, that's a good point. If I were to change the title of the book, well, let me just say this. Oh, I know exactly what I'd change it to because because when I first wrote it 20 years ago, and actually you figure I wrote it probably 25 years ago, by
Oh.
the time it got published and
Mm.
everything, I finished the editing and all that. It was probably close to 25 years ago. Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office was not my choice of a title.
Oh.
My title for the book was Quit Being a Girl.
Oh, quit being a girl. Okay. Why,
Yeah,
if I may ask?
yeah, because it came from a client I was working with. And it, she was sent to me for coaching because she was a little aggressive.
Okay.
Okay. And people didn't like working with her because she was kind of aggressive. So we worked on that for a little while. And she was kind of aggressive. It wasn't that they were picking on her. She was a little too aggressive.
Okay.
And so I worked on it with her. And then she was invited to sit on the executive committee of her company.
Oh.
I went to congratulate her and she said, "No, no, no, no." She said, "I'm not going to do it." And I said, "You are invited to sit on the executive committee of your company and you're not going to do it." She said, "No, I've been to those meetings. They're a waste of time." And what popped out of my mouth was, "Honey, you got to quit being a girl." Okay. In other words, we're taught that we have to make 100% use of every minute. We have to
Yes.
work harder than men to be considered half as good. We have to take care of everybody. We have to do everything we're asked to do, right? That's being a girl.
Yeah.
That's being that nice little girl you were taught to be in childhood. So if I were to change the title, people people think from the title that I'm saying you can't be nice and be successful, and that's not true. And I told the publisher that when she wanted to use that title, I said, "You'd realize I'm going to spend the rest of my life telling people you can be nice and you can be successful."
Yes.
And and I was right. Now they were right because it sold a lot of books.
Hmm.
So they were right about the title. But if I had to change it, that's a good question. I'd change it to Quit Being a Girl because really what I want you to be is an adult woman.
Yeah, absolutely. Like today's generation, people need to know the hard reality. They need to have a taste of their own medicine because most of the time we feel like, no, if I'll be nice and sweet little girl, people will like me and then I'll get what I want. But that does not go well in every situation. So we need to also learn how to be more bold and to be more proactive in all the decision making as well as participating.
Exactly. I mean, and that is the premise of my book,
Yes.
that nice is necessary for success. You have to be nice.
Hmm.
Okay. People don't want to work with people who aren't nice. They don't want to work with men who aren't nice. They don't want to work with women who aren't nice. They want to work with transgender people who aren't nice. They want to work with people who are nice. At the same time, If you are only nice, you'll get walked all over. If
Completely.
you're only nasty, you may achieve your goals, but in the long run, you're going to lose the game. And so that's really what the book is about. It's about providing you with tools that enable you to maintain your femininity, but also have a voice. That's really what's, thank God I'm a woman. I'm always going to be a woman. I don't want to change it.
Yeah.
Um, but I need to have a voice too. And I
Yes.
need to do it in a way that's acceptable to others, both men and women. Now,
Mm.
a lot of people say to me, well, why do I have to worry about being acceptable? Well, it's because that's our burden to bear, right? Guys can get away with saying things
Yes,
that we can't
guys.
get away with saying, right?
Completely.
Yeah, I'm not going to get away with it. But it
Mm.
doesn't mean I can't say it. I just can't say it in that way. And that's why I say to people, a woman's challenge is to tell people to go to hell so they look forward to the trip, right?
Completely.
And I feel like that's what I do. I give you the tools to make people look forward to the trip.
And we'll make sure to use those tools wisely. And one more thing,
Exactly.
Dr. Frankel, your book's title says nice girls don't get the corner office. So why the corner office? Why not the middle or the like center or from the top down approach? You said like men go from the top down approach and women go from the bottom up. So is that the reason for the corner office?
Well, the corner office is actually just a metaphor. When you think about the corner office, it's the most successful person in the building, right?
Hmm.
The most successful people get the corner office.
Yes, yes.
So the corner office is really just a metaphor for getting what you want. It may not be a corner office. It may be, I just want to be promoted, or I want to make more money, or, I want to go back to school and have it paid for. I don't care what it is. It's just a metaphor. And no, we don't all want a corner office.
Now that metaphor will be used in every statement. Like, okay, I'm gonna get a corner office, just like Dr. Lewis said that don't be a nice girl. I won't be a nice girl. So,
Exactly.
so, Dr. Lewis, was there any personal experience for uplifting your career, like where you felt overlooked or underestimated? Because all these understandings come when you're like facing some kind of situations on your own.
Yeah. Are you asking me if I was personally underestimated? Is that the question? I just want to make sure.
Yes, yes. If you
Okay.
would, when
Okay.
you felt like you're overlooked or underestimated.
Oh, yeah. I was underestimated for the first 35 years of my life.
Oh,
I had two brothers, and I was the only daughter,
okay.
and the boys were supposed to be successful.
Hmm.
And I wasn't expected to do anything. As a matter of fact, when I wanted to go to college, my father said she doesn't need to go. She's just going to get married and have children, and it's going to be a waste of money. Fortunately, I had a mother who said she's going to college, and my mother paid for it. My mother was a nurse, and she paid for it out of her nursing salary. And so I had a mother who had the foresight to say, no, girls need an education too. And so I was underestimated. And then maybe not too long ago, I was at a cousin's house, and he's probably about 10 or 15 years older than me. And he said, Lo, we never expected you to amount to anything. And I thought, that was the problem. Nobody expected me to. But inside, I have to tell you the truth, inside, I knew I could always do more. And I think part of it was looking at my mother,
Hmm.
who, even though she was a nurse, she rose up through the ranks of nursing to be the director of nursing at a hospital. And she just was, she was a force of nature. And I was a very shy kid. So I could never compete with her, really. And I think after she died, I was really able to come into my own, because I think I no longer felt like I was competing with my mother. Not that she would ever say that or ever think that, but I think when you have a strong mother sometimes and you're a shy kid, I think it's hard. And I had to find other ways to express myself. And so when I talk about being a nice girl, I mean, I still am. I say that I'm a recovering nice girl. There's certain things that, I still can't say, or I have a hard time saying, and I kind of force myself to.
Yes, so you beat all the expectations they were setting for you. And it won't be wrong when I say that your mother was your inspiration.
Yes, you would not be wrong if you say that because she was.
Yes.
And I think she was also, in her own way, my greatest supporter,
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Even
So,
though my brothers were supposed to be more successful than me.
like, did you tell this to your father, and like, what was his reaction when you told that I'm more successful than them?
My father died when he was relatively young
Oh,
and
like
before
in
I
your
achieved
age.
my success.
Oh, okay.
So he never really saw any of it. And my mother, she saw some of it, and I knew that she was proud. Um, so that was good, but he never saw any of it. So, and that's okay because I didn't have the same relationship with him that I had with her.
I'm so sorry to mention that. Now,
No, no, don't be. It's absolutely okay.
oh, okay, okay. So, Dr. Frankel, what would you like if someday you were meeting to your 21-year-old self, then what would you say to them? What kind of advices would you like to give to your old self? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the main thing I'd tell my old self is that you're enough. You are enough. You don't have to do more. You don't have to be more. You don't have to try as hard. Who you are is enough. Embrace that and let that light shine. And you will go far and you will go fast. I think I never felt like I was enough. And I think at this age now, I feel like, yeah, I am enough, but I wish I knew that all those decades ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Even now, like I'm 21. So when I look around and I genuinely feel like people do a lot more than I do. So that makes me feel like, no, it's not enough. I gotta muster up more courage and I should do everything. I should be an all-rounder and I should be able to know how to do this, how to do that. So absolutely, we need the taste of our own medicine. We need to know that, no, it's okay.
Mhm.
Calm down, settle down. Just sit for a while and just take deep
Exactly.
breaths.
Exactly. You're 21 years old. Get rid of the shoulds.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop shoulding all over yourself. Okay. Because that's what women do. They say, I should do this. I should do more. I should be better. I should stop the shoulds. Just the other day, I was thinking to myself that when I was your age, I felt like I didn't know enough and I wasn't enough. And again, in retrospect, I had to go through every step, every stage.
Yes.
How
Yes.
do we learn? We
Yes.
only learn and grow and develop through experience. And those experiences take years. They take
Yes.
years. If we were having this discussion and I was 21 years old, I wouldn't have as much to say. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. And like whenever we talk about learning, it's more like I learn from a man's ambitions, and like from their experience. It's never been like, okay, this woman has done great. I would like to learn from her experience as well. Most of the time, we overlook women on our own. Like as you mentioned in your book as well, like women for women, sisterhood, we need to have those things under consideration and not always look for men. So in today's generation, this thing is very popular where we go up to a man for more and more knowledge, for more and more learning.
I agree with you. And I think we need to go up to more women. I mean, why do
Yes.
you think I'm here with you today?
I
Right?
am here to look up to you.
Oh, well, no, thank you. But that's not what I was getting at. What I was getting at was I get a lot of requests for
Mm.
interviews and for like just
Yeah.
today somebody said, "Could we have a virtual coffee?" And I was thinking, I wish I had time for a virtual coffee. I don't. But when you folks contacted me and said, "Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to empower women in India." I
Yes.
said, "I'm in. I'm in. I'll do this."
Thank you so
So
much.
yeah, I mean, and that's what all women need to do more of. So
Yes.
you women need to ask more. People like me and others in your country, you need to ask, can I have 15 minutes, a half hour of your time so that I could either learn from you or I could share it with other people or that we need to ask more and I want more women to say yes when they're asked.
Yes, and when we got your answer, like you want to have an interview with us, we were so excited that for like we were so excited for so many days. We were like, oh, finally we are getting some women to look up to. We are getting Dr. Lois Frankel. So like we were admiring you like anything.
Thank you. Thank you. But I do think it's important that
Yes.
women give back to other women. And I think when you talk about leadership and you were talking about men and aspiring to be like men, that's one thing that I think is important, that, a woman's form of leadership is saying, too much is those to whom much is given, much is expected. That
Yes.
I need to be giving more away than I get,
Yes.
right? And the more you give away, the more you get. And I think women understand that,
Yes.
right? And of course you have to manage it. You can't just keep giving things away.
Yes,
But
yes.
I think within reason, we need to be, those of us who have a lot have to give a lot.
Mm. Those of us who have a lot, they need to learn how to give, and those of us who do not know, they need to know how to ask more and more and to
I love
learn.
that. I love that.
And so, ma'am, if like honestly, when I read your book, the old version, when I was reading that, I could understand that it is still strongly being radiated among women of our generation as well as the older generation. So, a really like great job from your side for the nice girls don't get the corner office as well as the don't get rich and don't speak up. Like all of them, I could relate completely with them. And it was as if my whole life is being represented in these books. Like, okay, you did this, so you need not do this, so you need not do this, and now you got to do this to gain this. So it was
Well,
completely relatable.
thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it, especially since, when the book first came out 20 years ago, we didn't have a lot of people your age reading it for some reason. And my feeling was at the time, things were going pretty well for women, and
Mm.
women thought, I don't need this book, right? Like,
Mm.
there's a lot of latitude for women. So
Mm.
I think they thought they didn't need it at that time. As women got older, they realized, well, wait a minute, being 20 in the workforce is different than being 35 and being overlooked.
Yes.
So what I did this time at the suggestion of readers was I included a chapter called Rookie Mistakes. And they're the mistakes that women make when
Yes,
they're new to a
yes.
job.
Yes,
So the
I.
whole first chapter is called Rookie Mistakes.
Hmm. Hmm. And earlier, I think women didn't have that sense of realization that are they doing something willingly or is it because they were pressurized or they were forced to do it? And nowadays, when people are learning and they're like they have time to learn, so they are able to realize that what they did was maybe not completely right, but it was also not like on the wrong side. So they need to know that what is wrong and right, they need to be able to distinguish, and they need to realize that what is right may not be able to be the completely right version of it. You need to do some wrong to achieve everything right.
Yeah, um, it's like when you're a baby and you're learning to walk, right?
Yes, yes.
You fall down a lot, right?
Yeah.
But a baby doesn't say, I've fallen down, I think I'll give up on walking.
Mm.
A baby says, well, in order to walk, I need to, they think, I need to get up and I need to do it again
Yeah.
until I get it right.
Yeah.
And so we need to be a little bit more like that. You're absolutely right that there's nothing wrong with making a mistake. I have made my fair share of them, believe me. And everyone taught me something.
No, I'll do the sharing of making my own mistakes and then I'll learn from them. But most of the time I've seen we are not even allowed to do mistakes. Like our parents, whom we adore so much and from whom we get support, they sometimes like they're very overpossessive, and they're very overly involved with us. So they don't feel like a daughter should make any mistakes, and that sometimes is a really big factor for us to step over our boundaries and to do something like no one expected us to do.
Exactly, exactly. So there's these limitations they place on us and
Yeah.
expectations,
Yes.
and it's because they love us and they want the best for us. But have you heard of Khalil Gibran,
No.
the author Khalil Gibran?
No, no, no.
Khalil Gibran I don't know. He's from the Middle East somewhere,
Okay.
but he wrote a book called The Prophet. And in this book, there was this one section on children, and it said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. And though they come through you, they belong not to you."
Yes.
And I think that's exactly how more parents kind of need to look at it.
Mhm. Absolutely. So how about we do a rapid fire right now?
Sure.
Okay, so boardroom or brainstorming room?
Brainstorming room.
Competence or confidence?
Boy, that's a hard one. Confidence.
Mentorship or sponsorship?
Sponsorship.
Leadership or laziness?
Oh,
That's
leadership.
easy.
Yeah, that was the easy one.
That
Give
was
me a hard
easy. I'm done.
one.
The hard one was confidence or competence.
Yeah, that was. But then when I thought about it, I thought if I had confidence, then competence will come.
Yeah,
I could be competent and have no confidence, which
absolutely.
wouldn't be helpful. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, what young women like us should focus on building first? Like skills, confidence, or like networks, connections, they say. And like why?
Yeah, in the new book, I have it's like a pyramid. It's a career hierarchy, and it's what you have to go through in your career. And it's like at the very bottom, the first thing you have to do is you have to get education,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So the first thing you do is you get all the education you need to do what you want. I'm not saying you have to go to college because you may learn on the job. You may, go work for as an apprentice or work in your parents' store. I don't care what it is, but get all the education you need. And then just right after that, it's skill building,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's right, build those skills till you are the best at doing them than anybody you know. Then after that, it's really about building the relationships that are going to work for you because the relationships are going to work for you throughout your career. If you don't have the relationships in place when you need one, it's too late to build it. So you need to be building relationships, right? Then after that, I always tell people, you're going to get to the point where you know how to do your job with your eyes closed.
Yes.
So start preparing yourself for a leadership role. Because a lot of people say to me, well, I don't really want to be a leader. Well, wait a minute. What are you going to do when you get bored of your job? So start preparing yourself to be a leader in your field. It could be a thought leader, it could be leading people, it could be whatever it is to be the expert. And so those are some of the things I think that you have to do first.
Oh, that's absolutely right. We should know how to become a leader, and first of all, we should learn everything on the education basis. Like currently, I'm on the scale, I'm on the level where I should learn about each and everything, and then I should grab the skills.
Exactly, exactly. And sometimes, a formal education, I'm not sure I needed to go off and get a doctorate to do what I'm doing, but it sure gave me a lot of confidence,
Yes, absolutely.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
And it's something that people can't take away from you. And so
absolutely,
when I tell women to get educated, again, it could be a certificate. I don't care what it is, but do something that no one could ever take away from you.
absolutely. So, what's one sentence which every woman should tell herself before walking into a challenging room or a conference room?
Oh, before a conference room? Well,
Like
when you said what's
anytime.
one sentence every woman should ask herself, what I was thinking was nobody will ever take better care of you than you will take care of yourself.
Yes,
That's what every woman has to know every single day, that no one will take better care of you than you will take care of yourself. And so, not to rely on others to take care of you, maybe care for you, but that ultimately you are responsible. Okay, so then your next question is going into a conference room or going into a boardroom. When you go into that boardroom, you say to yourself, I own this room. I am going to sit in a position of power. I'm going to sit at the table. I'm going to lean in. I'm going to have my hands on the table and I am going to be looking everybody in the eye. That's what a woman does to establish herself, even if you don't feel like it. Because sometimes, there's another coach that I work with a lot, and he always tells people first you have to do it and then you'll feel it,
yes.
right?
Hmm.
And I always say, well, first I want to know why they're not doing it. And then I want to help them do it. And he said, it doesn't matter, Lois. They just need to go in and do it. And the more they do it, the more they will do it. And I think
Absolutely.
it's true. You know, we have to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
Let yourself be uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable sitting like towards the head of the table where the boss sits, if you're uncomfortable leaning in, that tells you probably should be doing it.
Correct. Correct. I absolutely agree with you. And Dr. Lewis, what would you say to those women who are like already engaged or already engaged in relationships with others, and they are codependent or maybe completely dependent on them, and they have no sense of independency in them? Like majority of the population in our country, they feel obliged to men, and because they are not independent on their own, they are not self dependent. They don't know the factor of dependency on somebody else than on us.
Do you think in your country it's because they are financially dependent and they haven't been given the opportunity to gain the skills and knowledge
Yes,
needed?
yes.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm thinking. It's not so much that they're just dependent because it's a nice thing to be dependent. It's that they don't have the tools, they don't have the infrastructure to be able to have it be different.
Yes.
So to these women, excuse me, to these women, I would say put together a group of other women who are just like you and start talking about what independence would look like. Start talking about how do we create, well, if it's not complete independence, at least breaking that cycle of codependency. How can we help each other do that? Because I think in your country, it's really hard to do on your own.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting. This is kind of interesting because a neighbor of mine moved here from India a couple of years ago. And she moved here because she had like a 13-year-old daughter
Mm.
and she wanted her to go to school in the United States.
Mm.
And she moved with her husband. But what I noticed is that she won't do anything without her husband, right?
Yeah.
So what I started doing, and she was just doing everything for her daughter. It's like
Yes.
her whole life was her daughter. That was
Mm.
it. And she was such a nice woman, and she was smart and interesting. So I started inviting her to go out with me,
Mm.
to go to lunch, to go to
Mm.
dinner, to go to a concert, to go to, a museum with me, so that she could see there's another way of doing things. And I think little by little, she's starting to get a little bit more independent. But I
Yes.
think that's what women have to do. First
Mm.
of all, if you are independent, invite women to
Yes.
learn from you. And
Mm.
if you don't know anybody else like that, put together a group in your neighborhood, in your village, wherever it is, and say, we're going to just get 3 to 5 other women. We're going to meet every week and we're going to talk about what are our values? How do we live our values? How do we make sure we're living our life to the fullest? What would we be like to be doing differently? Ask each other those tough questions and support each other. That's what I would suggest. I think the question you're asking is really systemic and it's very hard.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's going to take time.
Yeah, absolutely. Your suggestion is great, but it's gonna take a lot of time for them to be put together and to at least like pour their heart out to some other women whom they might not
Yes.
even know.
Yeah, because I think what happens is that women, particularly in cultures like yours, they have nobody to talk to about it
Yes,
because
absolutely.
their mothers are telling them, you should be happy, you have a husband, you have a beautiful child, you don't have to worry about anything, you should be grateful.
Yes.
Well, that we weren't put on this earth to simply be grateful. I think we need to be grateful. But the fact is that we also need to live up to our full potential.
Absolutely. And finally, what is that one thing you want the audience to get from our conversation?
If they could get one thing, I would like it to be do one thing different. I don't care what you do different, but we talked about so many different things here today.
Yes.
Is there one thing you would do different? Would it be put together a group? Would it be to ask more questions? Would it be to give your opinion more? Would it be to get a little bit uncomfortable? I don't care what it is, but I would want everyone who spent time listening to this to do one thing differently because the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis, for your time today. And it was so I'm so thankful we learned a lot. And now I'll learn to do one thing different, not being comfortable or anything like that. And I'll surely do it. And I'll acknowledge others as well, my friends and my colleagues, everyone to do one thing different at a time. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Well, thank you. And I just want to give you some feedback.
Yes,
You
yes.
are a great interviewer. You are a better interviewer than many people who have interviewed me with more experience than you.
Thank you
So
so
I
much, ma'am.
don't know what you want to do with your career, but you could go into journalism and you'd fit right in.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.